Okay, in this chapter, we get to talk about CSS, cascading style sheets. Cascading style sheets are developed to help us control the color, the way our font looks, and the layout, where things appear on our page. And we really like CSS because it gives us control over these things like color, the way our font looks, but it keeps our style separate from our structure. So basically our content, the text, the meat of our website is one thing, and the way it looks is another thing. So we can change the way it looks over time without having to change that main content. We can also store our styles in a separate document. So we could have one style sheet that we could apply to several pages in a website without having to type all of that over and over again. So it just makes our websites a lot easier to maintain. So to give you kind of a better understanding of this, and if you want to play around with this website, feel free. It's CSS Zen Garden. So this is HTML. Like this file was made with HTML. And then people can take this HTML and modify it CSS. So these pages that I'm about to show you, the only thing they changed was the CSS. They never touched the HTML. So all the content is the same, like the road to an enlightenment, this paragraph here, these other contributors here, this information here. All of this appears on all of these other pages. It just appears in a different layout. So take a look at this one. And all of this was done with CSS. This one, look at the robot and the scroll. This one, I like this design. I like the colors. This one, it's kind of got an old school apothecary vibe. And this one's probably my favorite, this modern. I love it. So all that text is there on every page. Just the way that it's laid out looks different, and that's all done with CSS. So we have a couple of types of CSS. This imported, we're not really going to look at in this class, but these three are really important. So inline styles are CSS rules that are coded in an HTML tag as an attribute. Okay, and we'll go over more of these in depth later. The embedded styles are coded in, well, let's look at this one. The embedded styles are coded in the head section. So inside your head section where you have your title and your metadata, you would code a styles tag, and inside those style tags, you would write all of your CSS rules. And then for your external, you code those on a whole separate file. You create an entirely different file within your Visual Studio Code, saving it as a .css file extension. And then each HTML page you want to use those CSS files with, you create a link statement in the head section. So we're going to practice all this, but inline is coded in the body section as an attribute of the HTML tags. Embedded is coded in the head section within style tags, and external is coded in an entirely separate file. All of our CSS rules have some components. Each rule has a selector, and for right now, these selectors are going to be HTML tags, like body, like H1, like paragraph. And then it has a declaration statement. The declaration statement needs to be coded within curly braces or curly brackets, and then each statement has a property, which is something you're going to change, and then a value, which you are going to change that something to. Then you follow each declaration statement with a semicolon. So here's an example where we take the body and we change the text color to blue and the background color to yellow. So this is your selector body. Your text color, you use the property color, and the value you can use blue, but you could also do hexadecimal values. So that's a hashtag and 6 characters. But notice how each statement is followed by a semicolon, and then all of our statements are contained within curly braces.